We talk about Honeymoon Suite's first album and that first hit, New Girl Now, with the guy who wrote it, Honeymoon Suite's Derry Grehan. First, we should tell you they've just had their first hit in 19 years, a top 30 hit with the title song of their upcoming album. It's called Find What You're Looking For. It's also their first album since 2008. Their first single, New Girl Now, hit number 7 on the rock charts in the U.S. We wanted to hear the story behind that iconic hit, which also was a very big hit in Canada. Here's Derry Grehan.
That first album, man, you're like the master. You're like doing it all. You're writing. You are such a big influence, of course, in the band throughout the history. And I know how much you've written. But New Girl Now, speaking of stalking, was that based on anything?
No, not really. Not when I wrote it. It just kind of came to me. But I had just got out of a relationship and moved away to college. So yeah, it was based in fact to some degree.
And the video that main girl that's stalking Johnny, did you guys know her, or was that just an actress?
No, that was an actress hired for the video. No, she was an actress.
Well, Randy Bachman, a couple of years ago, he came into the studio here in Calgary, and he said, Lenny Bro had told him, he talks about Lenny a lot. He said, you will never be the greatest guitarist. There'll always be another guy better, but you got to write songs. At what point did you realize, considering how top heavy you are with writing for this band, when did you realize it, or did you just write because you had the songs?
I've always wanted to be a songwriter. I love playing guitar, and through guitar I could write songs. Ever since I started playing, when I wrote my first song, I was just so excited about that. And I don't know, I just always wanted to write songs as good as the ones that the people that I loved, made. It's like I want to do that too. So it was just a passion from early on. And to me, in this business, the more boxes you can check. Yeah. If you're, there's a million amazing guitar players out there that can play circles around me, but to play guitar was not enough. You've got to me, and I tell my daughter this, be a songwriter, because there's your longevity. You may not be an artist forever, but you can be a writer, and there's, with publishing, that can be your retirement fund there if you get a couple of big hits. Be a producer. Be a business person, especially these days. Check all the boxes. And these days, a musician's got to be a lot of things.
Yeah, yeah. Well, why was it on the first album that you were you just the guy who was writing so much? How did the songs get, we're going to pick Derry's song. How did that happen?
Well, I was the only one really that had them. Johnny had written songs before with another band he was with and some early Honeymoon Suite stuff, but they weren't as strong or as what Honeymoon Suite was doing. They were more of just a rock and roll type song, and I think mine probably had a little more, were better with the choruses, or a little more radio ready. Mm-hmm. So by the time I joined Honeymoon Suite, I had New Girl Now and a couple others, and then we got our record deal, and it's like, okay, Derry, can you go write 5 or 6 more? We're doing an album. So I pulled it together really fast, and I was writing on the road right before the deal, because we were doing a lot of 6-nighters. Yeah. And so sitting around shitty hotel rooms up in Sudbury for a week, during the day, I would spend my days just the guitar and just writing songs.
Who just did the sequencing off that first album? Was it the band or was it the producer?
Good question. Probably Tom Tremuth with us, and maybe the label throwing their 2 cents in. But I think it was obvious that we would open with New Girl Now. Yeah. Sequencing is always hard. It's always a bit of bickering and to do the right thing. It's like naming the album. I don't know. We probably all just put the songs out there and you put the strongest ones, I think, at the front. Yeah. And then you bury your album tracks at the side 2, when there used to be a side 2. Yeah. And that's what happened.
I don't think there's a bad track off that debut album. We used to say that on the Cross Canada Report when we were syndicating our show.
Yeah, there's something great about every track. I mean, there's just such an energy and an excitement there in a young band finding their roots, and we recorded it really fast. So it has that vibe to it, and I love every song in that record.
The new track, Find What You're Looking For, good title for this time of what we're going through right now. Tell me about that one.
Yeah, isn't that right? Isn't that funny that it kind of fits in? That's a song that I probably wrote at least a couple of years ago. And it started out to be a different song called It Could Be Right. And when we were working on it with this new album, Johnny and I, we've got this producer named Mike Crumpus who we're doing the record with. And he's a great producer. He's an amazing writer, and he plays guitar and he plays drums. This guy's like one-stop shopping, I'm telling you, in the studio. He does everything. So he's really talented like that. But Johnny and I would bring my songs in, and Johnny would come in with his. And it's nice having a producer because he's that objective, ear. He's not as emotionally attached to the songs as you are, so he can hear, why don't you do this and why don't you do that? Like, why don't we try this for a chorus? So in the case of Find What You're Looking For, that's exactly what happened. We had this killer verse. We had the chorus, which wasn't sitting right with him. It was kind of a dated sounding chorus, and he actually came up a lot with the music and the feel for that chorus now that you hear. Is kind of like in halftime. And then I threw this big, melody over top of it because it really suited it. So it's the three of us working together. So in a nutshell, that's what happened there.
Remember, there'll be links to Honeymoon Suite in the description of this video. More conversation with Derry Grehan coming up next week. Make sure you comment on our video, subscribe to our channel, and share our videos, and buy a t-shirt. Help support our channel. Check it out in the description of this video. I'm John Beaudin.